What we're going to look at is the ways you can get banned on Google and how you can sort of not get banned, preferably. Also with Instagram and Facebook. And I think Facebook's the big elephant in the room when it comes to having ad accounts, pages, and profiles banned. So we'll look at that as well as a way for you to sort of work your way around the idea that, well, you really don't want to get banned on these profiles and platforms. So there's things you can do to prevent that from happening. What we'll not look at today is how you get your ad accounts unbanned and how to get a banned profile back. That's not the scope of what we're looking at here. And that particular task in both getting ad accounts unbanned and banned profiles back from the dead is a very complicated, complex mess that has no one single way which you can get that done. There are so many different ways to get them done in so many different platforms that there's no one formula I can give you for that, I'm afraid. So let's start with being banned on Google. This is probably the one that you're probably not as interested in because you never really thought that you possibly could be banned on Google, but you can actually be banned from Google search through your website not being indexed. You can be banned from YouTube. You can even be banned from using Gmail, and that's your whole basis of your Google account. So let's take a closer look at that. Yes, first of all, Google can ban your account. And it's in here from this snippet from their terms of services that say, we may suspend or stop providing our services to you if you do not comply with our terms or policies, or if we are investigating suspected misconduct. So what they're saying is that you can get banned from using a Google account, whether that's Google for SEO reasons, Google Gmail, or Google's YouTube as well. So first of all, when we look at how you can get banned from Google search, some of that's from using what we call page cloaking. And page cloaking is all about when you have a different version in your metadata for your website of what your website is and what it's about than what people actually see when they get there. And this can be just simply by changing the titles and the descriptions that go to Google to describe your website and what's it about. And when they get to your site, it's something completely different altogether. And quite often this is done in a lot of people who are trying to trick people into network marketing schemes. It's very common with that. Also cryptocurrency, it's very common with people who are just trying to scam you to give them money. But another way that page cloaking can go is that the domain that you're pointing to is so vastly different in expectation than what you're going to get to in the end. So this generally is something because it's misleading. That's generally what it is. And people who are misleading when they come up with domain names and descriptions of their websites are generally because they're trying to scam you out of something. And Google does not like a scam. In fact, it goes to great lengths to stop people from being scammed. Second up, what can get you banned from Google search is, I'm not actually talking to you, Google, that's okay. When it comes to irrelevant keywords, and this is where you're trying to include a whole bunch of keywords, which are basically just your search terms that you want to be found for. But when you do weave them into your content, they actually have nothing to do with the content you're trying to do. So that's when you're trying to be found for, let's just say, bathrooms, bathroom accessories, shower shelves, towel racks, all the different things you'd have in a bathroom, but you're actually not talking about bathrooms at all. You're talking about a network marketing affiliate scheme or something like that for buying essential oils. So this is when you're trying to use people who are searching for something and you give them something completely different, but you've just done some really good work at getting that, getting those words ranked so that you get people coming through for them. Next way you can get your site banned from Google search is by using irrelevant backlinks. And this is by basically just buying backlinks from a lot of those offshore services that promise you to have lots and lots of backlinks from lots of high domain authority websites that they apparently have control over. When it comes down to it, there's no such thing as domain authority that we can measure ourselves. I think Google has the measurement of what that is. Irrelevant backlinks, then, I think they're coming from, for example, a whole bunch of what we call link farms. So they're like directories, a bit like Yellow Pages and local search, something like that, but they're a lot more seedy and a lot more dodgy. They'll have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of links back to your website, but the basis of the website that they're linked from is that no one goes there. No one's looking for your site there. In fact, it's so unrelated to what it is you do that Google is seeing that if, say, 90 to 98% of your backlinks that are coming to your website being from these irrelevant sources, then they'll look at it and go, you're just buying these and you're trying to get around the system, which is you trying to interfere with the operation of Google's natural search engine. So trying to do that, buying those backlinks, it may work for a second, but it'll be not very long until the algorithm does catch up with you. Next, being banned from Google search can be done by having hidden text. Now, whilst this used to be a really, really effective way of trying to get people to find your website back in the old days of we're talking about 2008, 2009, which is a long time ago when it comes to search engine optimization in Google, you're talking about writing white text on a white background, just so that the scraper that comes through and scrapes through your website could still read those words, even though people couldn't. So it allow you to be saying, oh, I'm going to be found for 100 different keywords that have nothing to do with what's on this page, because I know that those are keywords that people are searching for a lot for on Google. So what you're doing is basically, again, you're being misleading, you're being sneaky, you're being dodgy and shady and all that. And Google doesn't like that. So make sure that your text is very readable. This even goes for links that are in the bottom of your website. I know it's a design feature a lot where, for instance, there's a black bar at the bottom of the site where a very, very dark gray text is showing who built the website, the copyright information, even links through to privacy policies and terms of service. Everything should be readable. So quite a lot of contrast between the text and the background so that there's no mistaking. You're not trying to hide anything. All you're trying to do is design something. So just don't make them similar colors and you'll be fine. Next up, being banned from Google search can be done from what we call keyword stuffing in your titles and descriptions. And this is where, for instance, you may be selling, let's just say, handmade soap from North Queensland. So if you're selling handmade soap from North Queensland and you want to be found for handmade soap in North Queensland, what you're not going to want to do is have a title that says Daintree handmade soap from North Queensland dash handmade soap from North Queensland of quality build dash more handmade soap than you could poke a stick at in North Queensland. So that's when you're stuffing so many repeats of that same set of keywords, being handmade soap North Queensland, into your title and then into your first paragraphs and into your descriptions of your pages as well. That's when it's looking really, really dodgy. And more, Google is starting to look less at what we're doing in our meta titles and our meta descriptions, and more at what's actually on the page, what the actual words on the page are. In fact, 1 in 5 pages are ignoring what the SEO title and the SEO description are for that website. So if you're trying to stuff all those keywords in, you're not actually doing yourself any favors. You're actually probably doing yourself a lot more harm than good. So let's just say you have all those problems and you want to get re-ranked because you're being deranked. You have to correct the issue and then just wait to be re-ranked. So if you're using something like Google Search Console with which to resubmit your pages, that will help to increase the speed of it. But there's a point where your site is going to be given such a red flag against it that it doesn't really matter what you do and fixing it. It's going to take a while for you to earn that back again. Remember, it took us a while to earn that place on Google in the first place. If we then blow it, then it's going to take a long time for Google to trust you again. So it can be done. It can be done quicker than just naturally waiting if you've got the right Google tools. But at the same time, you're better off just not doing those things in the first place. So when it comes to YouTube, though, you can be banned from YouTube for posting someone else's content as your own. This is a pretty obvious one. Copyright and trademark infringement is pretty serious business on YouTube. So if you're going to take somebody else's video and reproduce it and pretend that it's yours, you may not just have that video taken down for copyright, but you may, if you repeat that kind of behavior enough times, you will be banned. They will ban you from YouTube and you won't be able to go back into your account. So if you spent months or years building hundreds and thousands and millions of followers and all that sort of thing and subscribers all over the place and lots of likes and shares and comments, then doing something silly like using someone else's content can be really dangerous. If you do it once, you're not going to be blown off the face of the earth. But if you keep doing it again and again and again, you're going to have a problem. Spamming and scamming is at the core of why YouTube bans accounts. And this is usually because somebody's trying to promote a banned service or a banned company or a banned product. And a lot of things come, sadly, a lot of this stuff comes from network marketing organizations, from powders, potions, and pills. That's actually really sad because some of those products aren't necessarily bad. The organizations are bad, but some of the people who work in them and trying to sell them, they do the wrong thing and they mislead people and use a lot of misinformation and basically lies about the products to help people, to get people convincing to buy them. So if you're spamming and you're scamming and you're just producing promotional video after promotional video after promotional video, you're not adding anything of value to YouTube. So first of all, it will derank you. It'll make your stuff less findable. But secondly, if you keep doing it, it's going to just ban you altogether. So again, most of these things with YouTube, there's very few things that are going to get you banned straight off the bat. But intense copyright infringement and other things like child exploitation and human exploitation, human trafficking, very violent footage, that sort of thing will get you banned straight away in many cases. Repeatedly using copyrighted music and video is a bit of a no-brainer. I think we learned from Napster back in the 90s that you can't just steal. You can't just steal other people's stuff. Put it in the background of your video because you think that'd be a really fun thing to do and add some like, recognition and fun and juice for people to really like, and then think you're going to get away with it. That's stealing. If you're putting your own video in front of somebody else's music, you're stealing their music. Same with video. If you're going to take clips from major movies and television shows that are really long and quite a lot of them, you're not just like taking a little minor snippet and doing commentary on it, then you are actually using copyrighted video. And it happens a lot with people who are in the Star Trek and Star Wars communities or any of those television show communities where people are watching fandom videos where commentators come and they talk about those TV show episodes and movies. You quite often see that they'll get taken down for copyrighted videos. So there's ways of going about this to make it less bad. Sometimes reversing the image and putting a watermark on it will help, but at the same time, just taking that material and then deciding it's got fair use is not going to save you from when you repeatedly do it and repeatedly get them taken down. Eventually, YouTube just takes you down. Hate speech is an obvious one banned from YouTube. So anything that's hate speech around gender, sexuality, religion, what else we say in terms of people's body shapes, hate speech around race and cultural affiliation and affinity, any of that sort of stuff, just not tolerated. And it can actually get you banned straight away, like without any warning from YouTube. Misinformation is a big one, especially during these COVID times when there's a lot of wild misinformation going out there about vaccines and treatments and the way that the disease came out and all that. YouTube and Google and Facebook and Instagram have a zero tolerance policy for misinformation. They'll mark the information on Facebook and tell you that there are alternative facts to this, that the science doesn't support this particular statement. On YouTube, they may just take you down. That said, I've seen a lot of material on YouTube that doesn't get taken down. A lot of it will come down to how much that the community on YouTube decides to flag that as misinformation. So the algorithm does work that out itself. Child and adult exploitation. Obviously, you don't even have to go further into that. That will get you banned immediately from YouTube, as well as pornographic material. We don't want any of that sort of stuff on YouTube. So if you're going to put that on there, that actually will get you banned immediately if you try to do any of it. Marking it safe for kids. So when you're uploading into the Creator Studio for YouTube, you have the option to mark your materials safe for kids or not safe, or not saying not safe for kids, but if you make it marked as safe for kids and it really isn't safe for kids, if it doesn't fit that whole PG-13 kind of approach or general entertainment G rating for kids, then you've really got to not put it on there and mark it as safe for kids. All my videos that I do from these particular webinars, none of those are marked as safe for kids, even though there's nothing in this which is bad for kids. I don't want kids watching it because they're not my audience anyway. So if you're loading stuff up that's not for kids, just don't mark it as safe for kids, because if you do that too many times and it gets discovered that it's not actually safe for kids or even relevant for kids, you can be taken down. So how do you get re-ranked in YouTube if you get all that taken away from you? Well, the first thing you've got to do is correct the issue and then wait to be republished. So you correct it, take away the material that's not so bad, and then republish that. Or you can appeal a decision if you think it's been wrongly executed. So if you don't have a way for people to see you on other platforms, losing your audience on YouTube could be quite nasty. I've only got about 160 subscribers or something like that on YouTube, but I tell you what, they're good. They watch a lot of stuff. Like, they watch a lot of my stuff, and they comment and they share it, and they turn into customers as well. I've had at least 11 customers come from those 160 subscribers. So it's definitely worth being there. Just bear in mind, though, that once you get up to a certain level, you don't want to lose those subscribers by losing your account. So play by the rules. Just even if you've got opinions about things, your business position is not about your opinion. It's about your business and your products and services. So just leave your personal opinions out of it. When it comes to Gmail and your Google account in general, spamming and scamming is a big theme we see here. That will get you banned from Gmail. So if you're doing too much spamming, sending out way too many emails in one day, yeah, the Goog will bring you down. If you're trying to scam people, they will bring you down. Pretending to be someone you're not by setting up fake Gmail addresses that may be to try and pretend to be someone and get money out of them, or that's obviously going to get you banned from Gmail. I think I report probably 50 of these a day, and it's getting very good at actually now starting to see what they are. People who are saying they're from certain companies, but they've got a Gmail address, we know it's fake. So I report them straight away, and they're generally removed within an hour. Another one will get you to pull down is promoting or soliciting illegal products or services. We can just imagine what those things are. If it's not illegal in this country or in any Western nation, I'm talking about, buying guns online or buying ammunition online or buying hardcore pornographic material. None of that stuff is going, if you're promoting it or if you're promoting casino services through Gmail, you will be banned. It's against their terms of service. If you're going to do those things, you're going to spam people with illegal stuff, you might as well do it on your own email service over somewhere else, because Gmail's just not going to tolerate it. Getting reported as junk by many recipients. This is a bit of a strange one, because I've had this happen to me before, where I have actually sent out quite legitimate mail lists to people who've opted in to my emails through Gmail. And then I've had about 5 people in one day have unsubscribed or reported it as junk and unsubscribed. And that actually got my list reach not just down by those 5 people, but by about 80% of people no longer saw it and went straight to their junk, because they too were using Gmail. So just bear in mind, when people report you as junk in Gmail, that's not just reporting you as junk to Gmail in their inbox, that's reporting you as junk to all inboxes. So if you get one, it probably won't affect you really greatly. But you get up to 5, 10, 20, 100, then you're at the point where you're just not going to reach anyone's inbox, and sending out those emails just won't be worth it. But thankfully, most of us are probably not sending mass email and newsletters from Gmail anyway. We're sending it from things like MailChimp, MailerLite, and some of those things like ActiveCampaign, Kajabi, some of the marketing programs that you use. Being banned on Instagram. This is a whole different deal to being banned on things like Google, because Instagram is a social network, and social networks have a lot of complexity and a lot of different kinds of bans. So the first kind of ban is an action ban that bans you from doing certain things within the platform for a specified amount of time, usually about 72 hours. The second bit is what we call the shadow ban. The shadow ban makes it not possible for people to find you on the platform. You're still there, you can still post, you can still do things, but you cannot be found. So you're taken away from the search, you're taken away from Explore, and you're taken away from any features. Your hashtags and your mentions are not able to be used for a certain amount of time. So it's not a permanent thing, it's just a temporary thing when there's a problem that's being investigated. And the big one is the total ban. And this is where your entire account, whether it's a personal profile, a creator profile, or a business profile, is banned in its entirety. There's nothing of you on that system anymore. You're completely removed. So What would get you banned from Instagram? Fake followers, basically, likes and comments from fake followers, buying fake followers. I had this problem with my Facebook pages. I've got about 1,500 fake followers in there who are all from Egypt. And what I did, I handed over my social media to be managed by someone offshore about 3 years ago now. And they went and bought followers because they wanted to show that they were doing something good, but they bought too many followers and not from a service that could actually spread it out across the world. They all came from Egypt, and particularly in the city of Cairo. So that didn't happen on Instagram, it happened on Facebook, but the same thing applies when it comes to fake followers on Insta. If you are going to buy fake followers, it's completely and utterly against the terms of service. And if you are caught, you will be taken down with no avenue of appeal. You can be banned for Instagram if you're buying or selling accounts. If you want to build up a following for Dogs R Us, it's got lots of pictures of cute puppies and all that sort of thing, just so you can build up a following that you can then sell the account on. That is against Instagram's terms of use. You cannot buy other people's accounts or sell your own accounts to other people and be within the terms of service. If you are found out, all that work you've done will be completely obliterated, and I'm sure the person who buys the account off you won't be too happy with you either. You can be banned from Instagram for automated follows and likes and unfollows and unlikes. There's a bunch of services that allow you to do this. Some of them are apps, some of them are desktop. What they're all basically about is setting up an automated set of tools that will allow you to automatically follow or like people or like what they're doing, and then just immediately once they've followed you, you will unfollow them. And so it's got this whole approach that's about you wanting to have more, like a big ratio of people who follow you as opposed to people you follow. It's a really stupid old thing, and I don't even think it really had any real authority when it came to the use of Instagram, but it's now such a big problem and such an annoying thing that the users of Instagram keep reporting it. So if you are caught using third-party tools that plug in through Instagram and automate the process of following and liking people, and then unfollowing and unliking them as well, then you will be found out. The same thing is if you're using third-party tools that download information from your site, and then they will actually show that who has unfollowed you. They basically download your whole Instagram, put it into a database so you can read it, and then every day it'll download another version and tell you in the last 24 hours who exactly it was who unfollowed you. That's a massive privacy violation, and if you're caught doing it again, you'll be completely banned from Instagram. In some cases, your IP address will be banned for life. So you'll never be able to set yourself up from that IP address again. There's always ways around it, I know, but that's just a problem you do not want to have. You can be banned from Instagram for copyright infringement, even though they're a little bit softer on this ever since they've had a lot of music coming in, and their competition on stories and reels with TikTok, who has fantastic music library in there. Copyright infringement's more going to be around about taking lyrics from songs, really hot music titles that you shouldn't be using in your stories and your videos, which you're promoting things that are your services. The other thing really is going to get you is movies and TV. So if you're just going to insert movies and TV scenes in your stories and in your videos on Insta, you can expect that you're going to be caught out by that. Now, you won't be taken down completely. What will happen is that in some cases they'll just mute it, or they'll take out and make the particular post not reachable, so no one can actually see it on Instagram. The problem is, though, when you do this again and again and again and again, and when people are doing this, they tend to not learn their lesson. They do it again and again and again, and then one day Insta just pulls the rug from underneath them and says, "Look, you've done this too many times." Now, you may not remember how many times you've done this and had it taken down. Instagram does remember. They have a record of everything. So you've got a score on your profile, of a trust score, which goes anywhere from 1 to 100. And for everything you do that's bad, they will put a mark on you. And that mark doesn't go away. That mark accumulates over time. So the thought is that you don't get over 50 bad marks. In your case, just don't even try to get one bad mark, so that you can't have any reason for Instagram to want to take down your account. You can be banned from Instagram for inappropriate content. I think we know what that is. porn, basically, nudity, anything that's basically going to be bad for kids, going to offend people, that's deliberately out there to offend people. Inappropriate content isn't always picked up by an algorithm. Quite a lot of the time it's picked up by people reporting it. So if you're going to do stuff that's designed to cause people to be stirred up and angry at you, don't be surprised if you have your account banned, because so many people decided they're going to report you as having inappropriate content. And initially, it's not even Instagram checking if your content is inappropriate or not. It's just the fact that so many people come in and try to get you banned by reporting you, that's taking you down. Now, that may not be a problem for you, because you go, well, I'll just protest that and appeal that, and I'll get back on again. Problem is, though, that isn't going to work so well, because it takes a while to get onto someone real on Instagram to do that. If you're under 13 years of age, you shouldn't be on the platform at all. That's just a hard limit. I know that Instagram and Facebook are trying to get that lowered, so is TikTok. They want to get it down to 9 years of age. I think we can probably all agree that 13 is fine. You can be banned from Instagram for promoting or selling illegal products and services, drugs, we're talking about here, weapons, anything that's illegal in your jurisdiction. That's the sort of stuff that can get you banned from Instagram. So if you want to sell these weird and wonderful things that are made out of hemp, hemp oil is illegal in where you're coming from. Where you want to sell CBD oil, which is not illegal everywhere, but is illegal where you are, then you're going to have some problems. I think that Instagram and pretty much Facebook have just basically black banned CBD oil, cannabinoids, oils, to basically just avoid the trouble. So they just make it, we don't promote it anywhere. You'll be banned on Instagram if you have more than 30 comments an hour if you're a fairly new account. If you're over a month old, it's 60. So if you are making comments and you're just going through basically spamming everyone's comments with lots of stuff, so you're going, great work, check out my page, great work, check out my page, great work, check out my page. And you got more than 30 of those if you've been around for less than a month, or 60 of those in an hour, which can very easily be done by copy paste, or by bot programs that you can actually buy that actually do that stuff for you. Then you will be banned if you do that. So just try and keep those repeated comments and reactions down. So you're not going to appear like anything that basically is very repetitive, makes you look like a bot, makes you not look like a real person. And even if you're a real person doing it, you're acting in a spammy way. So just stop that. Copied and pasted comments and messages, where you're copying, it's basically the same thing, where you're copying and pasting the same comments and messages and instant messages from one person to the next, to one person to the next, one person to the next. Instagram's not reading your messages, but they can see that there's a copy and paste going on. It doesn't take much for a computer program to be able to see that a repeated action is taking place. So make sure that if you're doing copied and pasted comments and messages, do a few, take a break. Come back, do a few more, take a break, but don't try to do hundreds and hundreds of them in one day, because it's not going to work. And especially if you're buying programs that do this stuff, they generally have throttles in place to get around this. So even though you shouldn't be like this, you shouldn't be having any sort of automated copy and pasted comments and messages, because it's basically insulting people by you trying to get around and do something really, really dodgy and spammy, which is not the way we want to be on Instagram. We want to engage with real people, or just look at beautiful people all day long too. We can do that too. You're banned from Instagram for violent, offensive, or aggressive language as well. So if you're being really aggressive and being really pushy with people in private messages or not, if you think that your private messages are completely private in Instagram, they're not necessarily. If someone reports you mid-message, they can send with their own consent the entire conversation of what's been going on Instagram. And because Instagram messages are now shared with Facebook, and you can see that particularly on Facebook pages, now you can actually see it can be reported through to Facebook directly, not just through to Instagram. So if you're going to be basically going to be a dick on Instagram, be prepared for yourself to be reported and for people to want to bring you down, and for Instagram to back that up as well. Nothing wrong with, I think, banning a few people who just want to be idiots on the platforms. That's why we can't have nice things, because we're always so aggressive. Banned from Instagram if enough others report you. This is really the message that came through a lot of them. I think in a lot of cases with Gmail and with Google and YouTube as well, it's the same message. If enough other people are band together and report you, you can be banned, and you can take it'll take your profile down, it'll take your account down. You may be able, you usually appeal it. And if it was just something where people are just picking on you for no reason apart from your vaccination status and the stand that you take against or for mandates, then you may be able to get your account back, but it won't happen in a minute. It's going to take days, if not weeks, for that to be reviewed and brought back again. Remember, you're dealing with a platform that's got over 1 billion people on it now. That's just Instagram. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm talking about just Insta has nearly 1 billion people on it, just over 1 billion now. So it's a crazy amount of reports going on every day. There's only so many people you can hire to be moderating this stuff. So how you can get unbanned is basically to wait. So if you're doing those things where you've got the what we call the shadow ban or the action ban. So if you're getting banned from doing certain things like messaging, adding, inviting, liking and reacting, any of those things, it's usually 72 hours before you get out of Instagram jail. It's just basically designed to slow you down, give you a slap on the wrist and tell you, please don't do that again. Or you can get in contact with support@instagram.com. Bear in mind, it's over 1 billion people on that platform. You're talking about a group of people who is not particularly huge, who have to go through like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these reports every single day. So don't expect huge customer service out of Instagram support, mainly because you're not a customer of Instagram. You're not a customer at all. Unless you're buying ads, you're not a customer. You're a user of a free service. So just bear that in mind, that you can't expect full customer service levels from these companies because you're not essentially a customer, because their products are free. Being banned on Facebook, this is the big kahuna. This is the one which really most people would come onto this webinar for. And this is all about profile bans, page bans, and ads bans. So you can be banned just for your profile doing the wrong thing. You have your business page banned and taken away from you, or you can even have your ability to use ads banned. And you think, why would they? Jennifer just asked if you can't be tagged. That means you're shadow banned. Generally, that's what it is. If someone can't tag you, it's generally because you're being shadow banned. There's something in place that's stopping you from being searched and seen. So it's a very good question, Jennifer. That's generally what it is. It may also be a bug with the other person's profile. They may be on a action ban themselves, so they've actually been banned from mentioning and atting in their particular one. So yeah, there's two ways with that one. It could be something affecting them, or it could be something that's affecting you. Page ban is about your business page basically being banned for being naughty page. And ads banning, well, yeah, you'd think they would go, well, it's money. Why would they ban you from spending money? But they will if it's out of control and out of their happy place. The harsh truth is that unless you buy ads, you are not a customer of Facebook. That's a really hard thing to get across. And some people will disagree with me there, but I think it's a pretty hard and fast rule. You are not a customer of Facebook unless you pay money. And then you're only a customer for that part of Facebook that you use that's about the money. Just you get a page ban and you go, well, I spend $20,000 a month with you people. That doesn't mean it's going to instantly get you unbanned. It just gives you a place to be able to deal with it a lot more easily within ad support rather than general facebook.com help files, which are often not very particularly helpful. The other harsh truth is Facebook is not a free speech platform. They are absolutely under no obligation to allow you to say whatever you want, the way you want to say it, when you want to say it. Facebook is not a public utility. It's not a government. There is no such thing as a Bill of Rights in Australia that says that you can say whatever you want, whichever way you want to say it. We don't have that in Australia. We do have certain free speeches enshrined in our constitution, but the Bill of Rights is an American thing and it doesn't apply to Facebook. It only applies to governments holding back your free speech, not social media platforms. So just bear that in mind before you go off ranting about everything, that you don't have free speech on Facebook. And there's no such thing as an honest mistake. If you make a mistake and you send a nude photo onto your timeline, it doesn't matter whether it was an honest mistake. There's no such thing. You sent a nude thing into the system and it got out there and people saw it. You've done the wrong thing. So you will probably be banned for life if you do something like that. So yes, please be careful with what you're posting, and please be careful with the people that you employ and pay to do posting as well, because an honest mistake does not exist. And also a permanent ban, when they say to you that there is no avenue of appeal any further for what this is, you cannot get back on board, you cannot get your stuff back, they mean it. There is no reversing of a permanent ban. It doesn't matter who you know. I know at Facebook. Sorry, my microphone just went a bit funny there. It doesn't matter who you think you might know, whose email address at Facebook you have. If you're being banned permanently, they are not going to be able to help you, and they will not help you at all. It's sad because I've got a banned ads account from 2018 that's very much in that place as well. So Facebook is under no obligation to answer your appeal. They're also under no obligation to sort out your mess when you sold your business or bought a business of someone else and you can't get the Facebook page admin across. They're under no obligation whatsoever to do that, and they will not enter into disputes over administration of pages or groups. That's completely up to you to do that, and up to the people that you do work with to get that right between yourselves. So it's really important to make sure that you actually do that stuff correctly, because it can be an absolute mess. I've had to help untangle so many people. So let's start off with a profile ban. Profile ban is all about your actual personal profile being banned. If you get a profile ban, you actually can do it takes a lot. Like, it's not something that they just throw about very, very quickly and easily. You hear about people who go into Facebook jail for about 72 hours, and that's usually because they're doing a little bit too much. They're getting a bit too angry in too many groups and too many pages, and they're copying and pasting messages a lot, or they're spreading misinformation, or they're just being downright aggressive and people are reporting them. Quite often they won't be banned. They'll just be put in the Facebook jail for about 72 hours. Sometimes people can go as much as 21 days. It can be an annoyance. It can be really bad, but it's there for a reason. Sometimes it's wrong and you can appeal it, but I'd generally be going back and thinking about what you've been posting and what your behavior's been before you go and appeal. Because you appeal it and they say, are you kidding me? You don't understand what you did wrong. Look at what you did wrong. And they'll just ban you completely, permanently for life. I lost access to my 2015. Yeah, it would have been 2015. I think I lost my last profile, which had all of my photos from my travels back then, which included going to America and Vanuatu, and lost all those because I used Facebook as a dumping ground for all my photos. I thought there's no safer place than Facebook for all my photos. Oh, how wrong I was. The profile ban on Facebook will come about if you're using a name that isn't yours. More so if you can't prove, not proved, but prove is yours. So if you are using your first name and your middle name instead of your first name and your last name, if you can't prove that that's your name, usually you can in your birth certificate or a passport if it's got your middle name on it, usually you can. But just bear in mind, if your name is Sarah, your second name is Marie, and your last name is Jones, so you're Sarah Marie Jones, and you call yourself Sarah Marie as your profile name, that's actually misleading and against Facebook's terms of service. So I know privacy, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to be seen, all that sort of thing. There are privacy tools to help people not find you if that's what you're worried about. Use those privacy tools. Don't use made up names or fake names. A mate of mine called Eric, he is the husband of a high school friend of mine, and she was really upset when his profile got banned because he was using constantly fake names like Bang the Drum and Blow the Sax and like all these sort of musical names he was calling himself, which were so obviously wrong. So all it really took really for if the algorithm didn't pick that up, other people would. So quite often people who weren't allowed to use their names would get nasty about and say, well, why are you allowed to? I'm going to report you. They wouldn't tell him that. They just report him. Enough reports come. And of course, Facebook does, the algorithm does swing around its little searchlight onto you. And yep, it's going to ban you because you are using a name that you can't prove is yours. We've seen this happen with drag queens. We've seen this happen with people who are trying to hide their names for very, 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 like quite various reasons. Just avoid the problem, use your real name, and then use Facebook's privacy tools to try and then say that people can't search for you by name unless they are a friend of you already. They can find you, but it's up to you to reach out to people to connect with. You are not able to be reached out to be connected with. That's the safest way to go about it. A profile ban on Facebook can come from creating multiple accounts. I'm not going to lie, I've got 2 accounts on Facebook. I've got my commercial account and my personal account, and never the twain should meet because my personal account can't make ads. So I had to make a second account to get ads. Back in 2018, when I did that, it was a lot easier to set up a second account. These days, you have to prove. Like if they even suspect in the slightest that you are from the same IP address as a previous account that was banned, then they'll just look at you and just go, we know you're trying to get a second account here. You're going to have to send us your photos of your ID to prove who you are. And that can take weeks for that to be resolved. So creating multiple accounts can actually get your original account banned as well if they make the link between them. But what you'll generally find is you try to set up a second account and that second account gets banned pretty much straight away. Using a name you can't prove is yours. We just went through that, creating multiple accounts, but connecting with too many friends in a short time is a surefire way of going that you're spamming and you're scamming and you're trying to grow a following in a really accelerated way like a robot would. So but when I say connecting with too many friends in a short time, I'm talking about within a day trying to connect with 500 friends. You're going to be restricted to much smaller amounts. Now, Facebook won't give us those amounts. And the reason is because there's a sliding scale. The sliding scale is your particular account really, really super new, then you can't connect with many people at all. It's usually maybe about 50 people in one day, no more than about 200 in 1 week. But if you are starting up a new account and you've been around for about a month and you've just got about 30 friends and suddenly that jumps up to 60 friends, no problem, because you've been doing the right thing. You haven't built up enough red flags and reports. But if you come in there, new account, new email address, you've been around for 5 minutes, you've set up a business page already, you've tried to connect to 500 different people and invite them through your contacts, you're looking really spammy. You're looking really, really scammy there. So they're going to think that this is a bot trying to set up, or you're someone who's just trying to rip off people on Facebook because you're not going through the organically hard job of building an audience. Liking too many things too quickly can also do the same, much the same as going around and going like through Instagram. Doing the same on Facebook is likely to get you brought down. Now, it may give you the equivalent of a 72-hour Facebook jail action ban, which is where you can be based on not being able to like any more things. Quite often what it will do though, because Facebook is very, very tightly guarded, they'll ban you from everything for a while. And they'll say you're banned for 72 hours for trying to like too many things or for suspicious activity is usually what they call it. That's so just before you go ranting and screaming to Facebook about them taking away your rights, just bear in mind, have a think about the actions you've been undergoing. When you've been a new profile or even an established profile, have a look at all the things you may have been pulled up for in the last year. Have there been a few ads you had blocked? Has there been a couple of posts you've made that have gone down? Has there been a lot of angry reacts coming up on your things you're posting? All those things add up to red flags that can get you actually brought down. Spammy posts that get reported is one of the #1 ways that you can get your profile banned on Facebook, your page banned on Facebook, sorry, not your profile. This is where spammy posts come from, gosh, all over the place. They come from you trying to share your new network marketing scheme, you trying to share things you're trying to sell, you trying to put messages out there and get people to support you and give you money for causes and fundraisers. Doing all that too often can get you there. Fake news and misinformation is an obvious one. Say things that aren't true, say things that can't be backed up, say things that are controversial. You're treading on thin ice. Like I said, this is not a free speech platform. Offensive posts, obviously, you're going to out there to offend people. They're going to report you and you're going to be down and have your profile banned in no time. For a page ban, this is where your actual business page looks like it's getting banned. That's a different deal. A page ban then is not your personal profile being affected, but they can be linked to each other. So for instance, if you have pages that you're running and your profile gets banned and you do not have another account or a friend's account who can get into that page for you, that page will be lost forever. So just bear in mind before you go off ranting about your opinions on your personal profile as well, if that gets banned, you can't get into your pages. So it's a double bogey there, double jeopardy. You get banned for both things without having done anything wrong on your page, just having done things wrong on your profile. So a page ban on Facebook can be done when you've been flagged or reported too many times. People just don't like what you're saying. They don't agree with what you're saying, or they may in general just think you're rude and disgusting and arrogant or whatever it is that's set off all their red flags on them. When you get flagged and reported too many times, Facebook will just instantly take down your page. Now, it doesn't mean it'll take it down forever. You can appeal it. You can have it reviewed. But it just means that there's often something in there that's caused people to react badly. So Facebook's going, look, if you cause this much of an issue, then there's something going on that we need to look into. Now, you may or may not ever get that page back. Usually you will, because it'll be just a period of time, like 72 hours to maybe, sometimes 6 weeks before you get it back. But that's only because that sometimes the reason why you've been banned is less about you being flagged or reported too many times, and more about what you were flagged for being reported for. So it's for like child exploitation material, for pornography, for weapons, and just really offensive stuff in general. Then there's probably a good reason why people were flagging you all those times, and that's what's brought you down. Page ban on Facebook can come from followers reporting you for spam. That's where they can even go there, like hide this. So you can hide this on your ads or on your page posts. If they report you for spam and they say hide this, that's all adding up to getting you removed and your page being pulled back as well. If you're posting the same link over and over again. So if you really only got 1 or 2 things you ever post, but you post them every day, multiple times a day, and it's the same deal, going to the same connection, the same link, the same place on your website to try and sell that thing, then you're looking spammy and scammy again, and your page can be banned. Again, half of the time it's because people are reporting you for being spammy. The other half of the time is that Facebook can see repetitive actions over and over that are causing this. Page can be linked to a fake profile. So if you set up a fake profile and you got away with it, and you can't prove that you are the same person in that profile, you're going to have a problem, because if that page is linked to a fake profile and the fake profile is taken down, your page is taken down as well, if only your fake profile is linked to it. This is where you need more than one admin, more than one business manager connected through to it. It can give you a bit more of a chance when these things happen. Page name infringes on trademark. You try to call yourself the Nike store, you're going to get taken down. You try to call yourself Coca-Cola Sydney, then you're going to get taken down. Coca-Cola is a trademark, and Nike is a trademark. Think of the name of any business that's trademarked and you try to pretend to be them, you will be taken down. The page will be taken down first because it's a fake page. Pretty obvious. Don't set up fake pages. Producing fake news or offensive material, just like with your profile, if your page is doing that, just be careful about what side of history you want to be on with certain issues these days, because by producing offensive material that's against Facebook's hate speech guidelines, against their community standards, or producing fake news that runs against basically anything that Facebook considers fake news, remember, not a free speech platform, nothing really is, then you could go down as well. Your page ban could happen by sending too many invitations. This is another one of those really annoying ones that Facebook won't tell you how many is too many. You go, well, of course I want to invite people. I'm trying to grow my page. So you're trying to invite people and you get to about, 50 and it says, you need to stop doing this for the next 72 hours. No more of this. Or you have to wait 24 hours before you can invite another 50. This usually happens to very new pages that have just been set up, rather than pages that have been around for quite some time. If you've got no record, no background of doing bad things, hell, you can invite up to 500 people into a group or to a page every single day if you want to, because you've got no history of doing the wrong thing. But if you send too many invitations and people are starting to block you, then that's a very big red flag to Facebook to say, oh, this is getting spammy. Joining too many groups too quickly, that's a big one. Holy crap, do I see like the 3 groups that I'm a moderator of, I see the same people try to join all 3 groups. Now, these 3 groups aren't even related to each other in any way, except that I work on as moderator on them. But what they do is, if I see these same people come up 3 times in these 3 groups, and I go, well, decline, 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 because there's no way you're a real person. You're a bot, or you're just someone who's trying to get into a group so you can spam your stuff. Usually casino services, slot machine, websites, cryptocurrency conversion services, network marketing schemes, all that kind of thing is the stuff that we're talking about. You can also get banned from your page on Facebook by sending too many private messages to your page followers, particularly when you're in early stage of setting up your page. It gets better over time, but at the same time, if you have never ever sent any messages to your page followers before, and suddenly you send 1,000 of them, Facebook's looking at you and going, that's a strange new behavior. What's going on over there? Ease in. When you want to do something like that, ease in, just send it to about 20 first, then take a bit of a break and come back and send it another 50, then take a break. Do it nice and easy. Don't try to flood it with thousands and thousands of messages really quickly for that same reason as all these other bot related things. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste looks like a bot. Excessive number of new followers in a short time. This is definitely it's definitely a sign that something's not right. If you're a brand new page and you've got 500,000 followers who've joined you in the first week, there's an issue there. So Facebook will be looking very carefully at you. First of all, to look at see if you're a bot or a scammer, and secondly, see if maybe you're related to some kind of news or theme or trend that's come out. So it doesn't necessarily get you banned, but it does put up a red flag to Facebook to look at you more closely. There's a lot of reasons why you can get banned, isn't there? Excessive offensive comments from followers. These are not your comments. These are people commenting on your threads, on your posts. So when you start to go, okay, I'm going to post this thing that's going to cause a bit of an argument because I love the drama. I like to sit back and watch the show and eat my popcorn. Well, the problem is there that you are also liable for what people are saying in your social media pages. So if you want to cause trouble and you want to stir the pot and be all that, just be afraid, because your page is held liable for that, and you therefore are held liable for that. And that's Australian law, not just Facebook. So Facebook's very careful within Australia that offensive comments, when they start to get a bit too much on threads of posts, that they will pull them back. So if you see this start to take off, turn off commenting and save yourself a whole lot of trouble. So just turn off commenting on that post. You can turn it off for 24 hours or even longer. I would just say just turn off commenting all the same, because a big argument and a big mess is not actually going to help you on the Facebook algorithm. It's actually going to harm you. An ads ban. Our final kind of ban we're going to talk about in Facebook is all about when your ads account gets banned. Your ads account can get banned basically by breaking the ad policies. The ad policies are there to be followed. And I would say before every major campaign you do, go and spend 20 to 25 minutes reading the policies. You will discover new things in there all the time. Go in there expecting to see that the reason you're advertising is going to be against the rules, and you will find the reasons if it is something which is not meant to be doing. You'll find those reasons in there. Every major campaign I do, and I start off on Facebook and Instagram these days, I read the ad policies. Now, I've read the ad policies close to 400 times, and there's little things get added all the time. So make sure you do read them before a major campaign. Otherwise, you could be losing a lot of money. Your ads account can be banned on Facebook by selling illegal goods. Pretty obvious. Selling the wrong stuff, you will get banned. It's also if you're linking to scam or dishonest landing pages. This is where you've got an ad for, cute toys for kids, and you land on the page and it's all about porn, 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 and porn, you're going to get banned. Not only the ads, but you'll probably get banned from your page as well. There's different levels of banning. Like for instance, when I got banned from my ad account in 2018, my ad account got banned from making ads. My page got banned from, well, actually the page didn't. The page is still able to do ads just through another user, but my profile and my credit card that I was using at the time, both were banned from doing anything more on Facebook that's paid. So I had to get a new credit card, new profile, new everything. But thankfully, the actual pages that were going to be linked to this weren't banned. You can be banned from the ads account for fake news or misinformation in your ads. If you decide to advertise a great new homeopathic remedy to COVID-19, you will be banned. Your ads will be banned. Basically anything that mentions COVID or medical or health or anything, it's really looked at carefully these days, and you probably will be banned if you mention anything about COVID at all. It's just not a great topic to really put into ads, and you've probably got no reason to put it in your ads either. Age discrimination, it's terribly spelled there, is how I got banned in 2018. I was setting up for a quad bike ride adventure for school-age kids from 12 to 18 years old. Now, the reason why my ads account was banned and my profile was banned was because I was age discriminating against kids who are under 12. Now, mind you, kids under 12 not even meant to be on the platform. So there you go. And also was discriminating against people over the age of 18. So what I couldn't seem to explain to someone is that in the law, nobody under the age of 12 is allowed to ride these quad bikes, and it's only for people of school age. The whole thing was just a mess and should never have done it in the first place. And it basically just caused the whole thing to come crumbling down half an hour before I was doing a presentation at October Business Month 2018 in the Northern Territory to 72 people who wanted to be shown how to use Facebook ads. That was an interesting presentation, I'll tell you. The ads ban on Facebook can be due to race or cultural discrimination. Pretty like that's a pretty obvious one. Like there's no getting around that. If you're going to be racist or you're going to be like hacking on cultures, then you deserve to have your ads account banned. Health supplements are an interesting one. So a lot of things like protein powders sometimes can get in there, but it's more so like, vitamin supplements, supplements that make promises about weight loss before and after weight loss treatments, all that sort of thing can be pretty bad and get you banned. Just read through the ads policies first and make sure before you advertise anything of that kind of anything in health and well-being. Just read the ad policies first to get what the latest information is in there that could affect your campaign and your banning. MLMs, multi-level marketing and network marketing schemes are banned from Facebook ads, flat out. Not allowed to do it. Zero. Mostly because it's been abused. Ads are banned on Facebook where people are complaining en masse, or they're hiding posts en masse, or they're doing angry reacts en masse. This can cause your ads account to be stopped and banned, and your ads stopped. So just bear in mind, if you're doing something which is deliberately trying to bait people into being angry, if they respond with angry reacts to your ads, your whole ads account can be banned, and really quickly as well. If you want to get lots of reactions that are angry, expect that you're going to get your ads banned on Facebook. Frequent disapproval of ad creative will also lead to your ads account being banned. This is because you obviously can't be trusted. So make sure you don't have too many of those going on. And other banned ad accounts under your business manager. So for instance, you've got a business manager with 3 out of 4 of the ad accounts under it have been banned, then it's going to look pretty bad for your business manager. So your business manager can actually be banned on Facebook as well from doing anything further. So lots of different levels of being banned when it comes to ads. Other banned ad accounts under your business manager, we've already looked at that one. Red flag word combinations. This is interesting because this is where you say there could be like a bunch of words which are unrelated to each other, but when they come up in a combination in a passage of text, a robot will pick up these 5 words that are 5 red flag words and go, you're banned. Even though none of those words were used in a context that's bad, They were just used scattered throughout, 300 words. But because those 5 words showed up a few times, it just assumes it's about those 5 bad things that those words seem to lean to. So just be very careful when you're reading through what your ads say and what those ads could recognize. So using the word like health, healthy, well-being, supplement. You might say supplement your day with a little bit of sunshine. The word supplement, that's just going to get you banned, especially if you use it more than twice and you're doing it as a well-being property. So just look for those red flag word combinations. And if worst, just ask an ASBAS a digital solutions person like myself in a session to just have a look at what those things are that you might have done that might have got you banned, because it's just weird stuff. This brings you to where you can get help. First of all, you want to try your policies.google.com when it comes to Google. You want to try help.instagram.com. Don't worry if I'm moving fast. You'll be able to watch this about an hour's time on YouTube. And also facebook.com/help, even though it's not particularly helpful. You might find you're better off using things like the Boost with Facebook Australia group, which I'm also a part of. Or you can be part of Business Station's digital solutions program, 3 one-hour sessions, 1-to-1, 4 hours of workshops and webinars, $44, not a bad deal. So if you aren't already part of this, please go and join it so that you can take advantage of, getting in touch with people like me, or, I'm part of Business Station now. So there's no limit to the amount of things I can do for them. So it's just a matter of time. So I get a pretty full week. If you've got really big issues you want to try and sort out with Facebook that are not about getting you unbanned, but are about you saying, hey, I want to go through my account and look to see if there's anything in here I should be worried about, a good 1-hour session will do that. And you still have 2 hours to use however you like and see whoever you like and get advice on whatever you like in the world of digital and business as well. In the meantime, that is my email address, dante@businessstation.com.au. You can get me on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is actually the best place to get me. I won't lie. That's the best place. I answer most messages there because it's my pro profile. So it's where I do most of my professional stuff. Facebook and Instagram, less so, but LinkedIn, just follow me up there or send me an email and I'll hopefully be able to have a look at some of those issues for you. But thank you so much for taking an hour out of your evening to look at this big mug and this fake background. So, so my colleagues over there, they haven't, over here, they haven't moved all hour. They're very, very engrossed in whatever it is they're doing. My name's Dante St. James. I really hope to see you in the next one.